For those who are listening to our conversation, could you present yourself? Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Jens Lattke. I'm a deacon, and I'm serving as a head of the ecumenical center in the EKM, in the Evangelische Church in Central Germany, and I'm also responsible for question of peace. So I function somehow as a commissioner for peace issues. So peace and justice and our role as church is very important to me.
Yes, and the Diocese of Lund and your diocese is having a close relationship.
Yeah. There is since I think 30 years, almost 30 years, or more than 30 years, there's a link between the EKM, our church, and the Diocese of Lund. There's a lively partnership between different congregation parishes, parish links, and groups, people meeting each other. We have common projects. We had already joined pilgrimage in Sweden and here in Germany, and we also already collaborated in the field of environmental questions, climate protection. And so, and even I think a group, some people from the Diocese of Lund joined our pilgrimage for climate justice in 2018. So, and it's a wonderful opportunity now to go away partly together.
Yes, you are starting from your part of Europe, and we are starting from Sweden. The same climate walk in a way.
Yeah, I mean, actually, we are starting in Poland because the last COP in 2018, which were in Europe, the last COP in Europe, which were in 2018, was in Katowice in Poland, and we collaborated that time with ecumenical council of Poland, so with different Polish churches. So that we, in 2018, we started in Germany, in Bonn. There was the COP before, and went or walked the pilgrimage to Katowice. So we decided this year we start in Poland with our Polish partner, not in Katowice. We were thinking about this, but it would be too long. So we decided in Jelina Góra. It is rather close to the Polish border. Polish-German border, and then we are passing Germany, the Netherlands, and taking the ferry to Scotland.
Okay, so how are you preparing for this climate walk?
Yeah, it is always complicated, but especially this year because of a pandemic, and we don't not really know what are the circumstances, what will be allowed, how we can go. And since we are involving different churches, I mean, in Poland, in Germany, in Netherlands, in Scotland, and in Germany, different dioceses are involved, several Protestant Lutheran dioceses, several Roman Catholic dioceses. So you can imagine that the coordination process is not so easy, but there's a lot of goodwill, and everyone wants that this pilgrimage will be a success. So there's a good cooperation. We have to meet quite often because the borders of the dioceses are not always, I mean, the diocese of the Roman Catholic diocese has different borders like the Lutheran dioceses. And so, sometimes you are, let's say, in our church in central Germany, but the way covers 2 Roman Catholic dioceses. Sometimes it's the other way around, and sometimes, especially in our area, there are not so many parishes on the way where you can stay, or sometimes there are only small parish. So we putting our maps together and looking, oh, here's the Roman Catholic parish, oh, here's the Lutheran. Okay, the distance is okay, so let's find a way how we can go there. And of course, sometimes we make a plan which way we want to go, but sometimes there's no parish, or there's no parish house, and other house is 5 kilometers away, which would be available. But 5 kilometers in one way and back are 10 kilometers. But if you walk, we have an average between 20 and 25 kilometers a day. So 10 kilometers detour is a lot. So it means a lot of planning and changing the route where we want to go, and to find places where to stay. And especially the group is, I mean, it's not so big, but 15 to 15, 20, 30 people. And even if you say we need just a place to sleep, of course, but you want to eat and to shower, and you need some bathrooms. And for 30 people, it is, at the end, it is not so easy like it seems.
No.
You need at least a little infrastructure.
Yeah, so it's a big ecumenical venture.
Yes.
And how is it with the other organizations, like environmental organizations and other interest groups in the society? Are they joining you?
No, this is mainly an ecumenical church-based initiative.
Okay.
But of course, the aim is not only to go from Poland to Scotland, but to get in contact with people. So first, everywhere where the pilgrims are coming, people are asking, what are you doing? Why are you here? So we get in contact, and we have every week like a 1 day off where the group stays at one place. And in that place, we are planning have special events, some actions. And for this event, we always look for local partners we could cooperate. And this is very often some environmental initiatives, some schools, some companies. And so it is also for us important to get that the pilgrims are getting in contact with the local people, and that they hear from each other. So, I mean, the pilgrims, they are having a message, and they focus on climate justice. But on the other hand, they want to hear what does this mean for the people. And so we call it points of grief and points of joy, like good examples. So we are visiting places where nature is damaged, and you could see here we humans do harm to our nature. On the other side, we also want to see good examples how people take care about the creation, and how they are motivated to do something for climate justice, so that we try always to have both perspectives.
Yeah. So what do you say when people ask you, so what is the point with all this? Is it what change do you think you can make by going on a pilgrimage? Do we change the climate crisis in any way? Do we affect it?
I mean, it is always the question of small steps. I mean, the most, for example, to shut down a coal power plant would have a much bigger effect, probably. But if you see, we are getting in contact while this pilgrimage with some 1,000 people. there's a small group who is always which is going all the way. This is about 10 people. There are some people joining for some days, for a week, for 2 weeks, for a month. So, and or only for one day. So by this, we are some 100 pilgrims in total. And on the other way, because we are visiting so many different places, and at every place we get in contact with the people, because this is also an aim of our pilgrimage, to meet people, to share our experience, to share our thoughts about climate justice. And very often we are meeting people which for them climate justice is not the focus. I mean, nowadays everyone had heard about this, but not really saw what he or she could do, what action could be done, or discuss different perspectives. And by meeting the pilgrimage, for many it's like an opportunity to reflect their own action or what they are doing. For example, we are passing a lot of rural areas where agriculture plays an important role for the people. And we are getting contact with people and discuss the effects of our way, how we do agriculture, which effect has this to the environment and to the climate. So, and to discuss what are the possibility of a more organic agriculture, but also the difficulties people have to change the way of farming. But to inspire people to get in contact, but also to hear that it's sometimes not so easy like it sounds. I mean, people often think, okay, I don't buy this nutrition or this food from Brazil, and but what does it mean to stop one day? But for example, if you want to be recognized as organic farmer, it's a 3-4 years process. So you cannot just skip from one to another, and always to bring in contact to discuss with people. And so I think it's a more small steps we are going, and make people a little bit more aware for climate justice, and not to have a big change.
No, but one thing that we have been discussing here when we are preparing our walk is that, of course, we want to affect people and make people aware of the climate change and so, but we will also want to show that this is a spiritual question, that the pilgrimage can show us that the climate change is confronting us with spiritual questions and need some spiritual solutions, maybe. So how do you think about that? Can we show that through our climate walk?
Yes, of course. I mean, we have like a kind of liturgy for every day. I mean, we have morning, evening prayers, day prayers. And of course, the question of care for creation is a main theme for all our prayers on the way of our spiritual experience. And I mean, going on this pilgrimage only or mainly attractive for people who care for creation, or for who are involved or committed to environmental protection, but many people are fascinated by the idea of going on a pilgrimage. So for them, it's mostly a spiritual experience. And by going on this pilgrimage, on this climate pilgrimage, they connect and their openness for spiritual experience with a care for creation.
Yeah, that's what we think too. And we also said that when you start on a journey like this, you can be sure that you will not come back as the same person in a way. It will affect you, it will change you, and it will change your attitudes towards life in a way.
Yeah.
So we will meet each other, maybe. The groups will at least meet each other in Münster.
I hope it will be all possible like it is planned. At the moment, I'm trying to find places in our EKM, but I mean, we have this year 9 days we are here in our church, and I already found 7 places, so I'm quite optimistic. But next week we have another meeting of a coordinators. So, but I'm very happy that we have this link. But you are not in contact with these people who were in 2080 on this climate pilgrimage.
And it was 2 women from
yeah.
Yes. I haven't been in contact with them now, but I know where they are, so I can send them a greeting if you want.
Yeah, of course, this would be nice. I mean, I think it's a wonderful connection. So they were here, and now there's a group from Sweden coming. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Send them a message.
Okay, thanks.
Good luck with everything. Yeah. God bless your work.
Yeah, to you also.
Okay.
Have a blessed time of Easter. Bye.
Yes.